So Pete, I've got my stretch cluster. I followed all the best practices. I've got, 1 millisecond of latency between the sites. I've got tons of hosts. I've got my SPVM configured to replicate data. What do I need to do with it with DRS?
DRS and vSAN are fully integrated with each other, but that doesn't mean that you don't need to set up a few manual steps along the way once you are configuring a vSAN stretch cluster. The first thing is that you'll want to establish what are known as host groups. This is going to help you define the fault domains or the site boundaries of those respective hosts within each site. The next step that you'll want to do is create VM groups, and that's going to help you define which side of the vSAN stretch cluster should those VMs actually run in. Even though they're being fully replicated, you may have some preferences in which site they should run in for resource utilization, balancing, whatever. And then from there, you will set up some DRS rules that help tell DRS that under normal operating conditions, some VMs should run on site A and some VMs should run over in site B. But if there's a failure, that it will understand that hey, these VMs can and should be running over in the other fault domain. So that's basically how DRS and vSAN are fully integrated with each other. The nice news is in recent releases, we've been making some enhancements around that to where when that second site comes back up from some sort of failure, or the ISL goes down, whatever, that we wait for the resynchronizations to fully complete before we migrate any VMs back to the site that the VMs were assigned to. So this really helps from a data path perspective and an efficiency perspective.
No, that's good to hear that you have that kind of power and control of placement. And something always that everyone needs to think about when they're setting up a stretched cluster.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's the main thing, because we have had a few customers that have simply overlooked this, and then of course they would raise some sort of a support issue. They weren't quite sure what was going on, and they were simply omitting this. Now we have some great detailed instructions out on our documentation, as well as the operations guidance out on core.vmware.com that gives you the exact steps for you to walk through this.
Well, as we say here in Texas, good fences make good, help make good neighbors, and keep the goats, where they're supposed to be. So keep your VMware goats where they're supposed to be and use DRS.